Thank you for attending On the Radar, which is Beauhurst's interview series with industry authorities designed to give you an understanding of what's happening on the ground in the UK's economy. Today, I'm joined by Mason from JP Jenkins, and we're going to be talking about all sorts of things to do with the UK's high growth company landscape and those companies' liquidity options as well. Today, as a rough agenda for what we're going to talk through, I'll be giving you a market update from what we're seeing in our data at Beauhurst. Mason's then going to give you the same from what they're seeing at JP Jenkins, and we're going to talk a little bit about how JP Jenkins have been using Beauhurst data in order to navigate what's happening in the current environment and to grow their business. Beauhurst is a data platform tracking the UK's economy with a particular focus on the companies that are high growth or innovative or have ambitions to do either of those things. So we have data on all 5 million active companies that there are in the UK. And then we focus in on around about 60,000 of those that we've identified as hitting a number of triggers that are signals for growth or innovation or potential for either of those things. So we're interested in companies that raise equity, for example, and we look at any amount of equity from your first friends and family round all the way through to later stage ones. And it's that data in particular that I'll be providing a bit of analysis and update on what's happening in the market. But we're also interested in a broader universe of scale-ups, university spin-outs, companies receiving innovation grants, companies undergoing MBOs, and a whole host of other signals that we can look at that build up our database. That's available to our subscribers on our platforms, live database platform. I run the research and consultancy unit, which within the tech business that is Beauhurst is the very old-fashioned side of the business, but my team are responsible for producing sort of all of our aggregate insights on various sectors and geographies across the UK. So that's a brief introduction to what we do. Mason, can you introduce yourself and JP Jenkins, please?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Henry, and thank you for having me, and thank you everyone for attending. For those of you who don't know, JP Jenkins is a very well-established brand and business that's been around for about 32 years, entering our 33rd year. And the platform was actually originally launched as a facilitator for OFEX back in the 90s, when we used to trade Weetabix, National Car Parks, Adnams Brewery, lots of Premier League football clubs. I think all of them were on there at one point. And before they got bought out by oligarchs and family offices. And then over the years, we helped a lot of companies on their route to IPO. We also supported a lot of companies coming off market and looking for a facility post delisting. And then, of course, over the years, we've now developed the platform into a focused market or platform, so to speak, to support the private unquoted side of the businesses. So companies that are coming through EIS, SEIS, VC, angel investment, PE, and there's a growing cap table, but there's the concern still around liquidity and exits. And this is exactly what JP Jenkins is supporting. So it's a match bargain venue for shareholders, investors to transact those shares on any unquoted business that's actually onboarded onto JP Jenkins. The one nice thing about the platform is that we're very similar to the LSE in terms of the infrastructure. So it's all broker to broker trading. So any shareholder investor who has an AJ Bell account, Hargreaves Lansdown, whoever it may be, Interact Investor, they can use their pre-existing brokers or any new recommended LSE registered brokers to transact. So very simple and very effective. I head up the corporate development for JP Jenkins, so bringing in obviously the new onboardings, admissions, and supporting those businesses through corporate actions and shareholder engagement. And previously was involved in broking and private equity and capital raising over the last several years as well.
Great, and of course we've actually known each other for a number of years now.
A number of years, yeah.
With your work at JP Jenkins. Yeah, I'd love to move us on to talking a little bit about how you use Beauhurst and our data to drive your own business.
Beauhurst for us, how we've navigated the data is really, really important to us. It's been incredibly vital, not only for the sort of valuations and financials and filings metrics, But also, I think mainly for us is to focus on how we sort of target and review companies that are suitable for the platform. Also sort of inbound inquiries and companies that come to us to be able to make sure that we can do the right due diligence on those businesses. So through the data, we're able to not only analyze the previous funding rounds and at what valuations, but also looking through the filings and reports, and then of course the individuals involved and how the cap table, the register, is actually structured, which is quite important to us, because we, being a sort of platform that onboards these companies, we do need to look at the sort of directors and majority shareholders that are involved within that business. Another quite key thing, and I think obviously Henry, you're incredibly involved in this, is the reports and the research is second to none for us. I mean, all of our team, and pretty much most people I speak to in the industry, are utilizing the Beauhurst reports. A lot is focused for us on the high growth reports. Businesses, as we said, in those regions that are doing incredibly well, businesses that potentially are rooting for an exit or an IPO, is of course something of keen interest to us. And I think that the best focus for us, really, I know there's probably a million and one things we could talk about in regards to the actual advanced search parameters, but for JP Jenkins specifically, the data around fundraising capacity, sector focus, acquisition MBOs and corporate actions, and that, as I said, that IPO, sort of either post-IPO or the IPO route that they may be wishing to take is massive for us. So we've, collated both collections of companies that we're working with, clients, and also partners further afield as well.
Thanks, Mason. For the benefit of everyone else, I didn't actually ask Mason to specifically plug the reports that my team produced. Thank you for your very, very kind words. So you've used the platform not only to sort of speed up diligence on inbound leads, but also to find new business as well?
Yes. So specifically through that advanced search and the functionality you have there, you've got a whole plethora of data, which allows us to see different ways or different sort of stages at which those companies are at. So there's, the established, the growth stage. We don't specifically look too early stage. So those sort of seed early stage companies, we're not heavily focused on, but using those parameters to build a nice specific pipeline of companies that we are looking at or potentially looking to work with is key. And that first point you mentioned about the due diligence, I mean, our compliance are always keen to look at not only the due diligence that's done by the registrars when they're onboarded to the platform, it could be third-party due diligence, but also through Beauhurst, we can look at all of the sort of documentation and all the public filings pulled into one central platform to utilize that.